You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Clearly, this man is dead. Mary Trump demands to see Mitch McConnell's corpse, based on an article by Adam Lynch. Mitch McConnell is not the story. The spectacle is the distraction. The source text treats Mitch McConnell's health like a grotesque guessing game. Is he alive, dead, hidden, propped up, or politically inconvenient? That is the wrong frame, and it is doing work. It shifts attention from institutional power to gossip for Republican-controlled pundit panic. The public is being handed a corpse mystery when the real subject is a machine that has spent years converting minority rule into durable power. Who actually holds power? McConnell is not just a senator in the abstract. The source reminds us he was the Republican majority leader and the architect of brute force obstruction, including the blockade of an Obama appointee on false rounds. That is the relevant record. His power was never personal charisma or moral authority. It was procedural leverage, caucus discipline, and a Senate built to reward sabotage. So when Republicans stay quiet about his condition, the silence is not confusion. It is control. They are protecting an institution, not a man. The question is not whether McConnell is physically present. The question is what the party that followed him intends to keep doing with the power he helped normalize. The misdirection machine. The source lets the conversation sink into rumor, CPR, hospitalization, secret meetings, life support, and a supposed effort to dodge a special election. That is classic misdirection. It feeds spectacle while leaving the architecture untouched. Even the wild speculation in the piece does not change the basic fact that Republican officials and operatives benefit when accountability gets replaced by fog. That is how political damage gets laundered. The party that has spent years weaponizing procedure and concealment gets treated as if it were merely disorganized. It is not disorganized. It is often disciplined enough to let the public argue about biology while the institution keeps functioning in the background. Democrats are not the problem here. The source briefly gestures at Democrats as timid, as though their crime is not making McConnell a bigger headline. That is a shallow criticism. The larger issue is not that Democrats are insufficiently theatrical about a Republican elder statesman. It is that Republican power remains so normalized that even scandal gets processed as content. If Democrats want to matter here, they do not need to mirror the cynicism. They need to name the structure plainly. McConnell's legacy is not a health rumor. It is the Senate as a chamber of obstruction, voter suppression by procedural means, and minority rule dressed up as constitutional decorum. McConnell's real legacy. The source's last factual anchor matters most. McConnell became notorious for stonewalling Democratic legislative goals and manipulating the Senate into a tool for his party's advantage. That is the enduring political fact. Everything else is noise. He should be remembered not as a frail man surrounded by rumors, but as a central engineer of the Republican project to make governance harder whenever Democrats might benefit from it. The scandal is not that his condition is hidden. The scandal is that the system he helped build is still standing. The pattern, power without accountability. This story reveals a familiar American pattern. Republican power is treated as inevitable, while the harms it produces are treated as procedural accidents. The media chases the dramatic surface. Operatives exploit the confusion, and the underlying structure of anti-democratic control remains intact. That is the lesson here. The body is not the point. The institution is. McConnell is a symbol of a political order that rewards concealment, obstruction, and cruelty, then asks the public to debate the gossip instead of the machinery. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternet for today's article, with the automated voice of Ryan. Thanks for listening.